Kahnawake minor baseball teams playing this year, it is remarkable. So we have, of course, the House League. That's U9. It's a developmental house league with about 5-6 players on a team, but there are 4 teams playing. It's a great developmental league. Kids get to play with other kids, and no matter what skill level they are at, each of them are going to play the same game. They're going to learn the same way, and I think it's a lot of fun, and it makes the game even better. We also have girls teams. That's right, girls leagues. We have 2 teams playing in girls U9. That's the Red Girl Hawks and the Purple Girl Hawks. And we also have 1 team playing in girls U11, and finally 1 team playing in girls U16. 2 teams playing in U11. We have 1 team playing A ball and 1 team playing B ball. We have a U13 team, the U16 team, that's the defending league champions, and finally a U18 team. We can look back at this year, we'll look back at this pandemic overall in a few years and be like, we remember where we were that Sunday when all 3 Kahnawake teams were playing for the regional championships. Let's take a look now at some of our top plays.
Cranks this one. That gets lost in the lights, and it's going to get to the wall. Jacobs gets a hold of this one and sends it over the head of Nicopolis. He jumps over the second baseman in a technique which has not been seen in baseball since the 1950s. 1, 2, 3, 4! Hit well into right center. That's going to drop, and that's going to get by the center fielder. And there's a rabbit here on the ball field. Going to send the third runner home. The throw. Score! And Divo sends a shot into deep center. Gone! A home run!
I'm Terry Stacy. I'm the president of Kahnawake Minor Baseball. Well, I love baseball. I've played since I was 9-10 years old. It's the only sport I've actually ever played, so it was a sport I'm passionate about, and I just felt once it was done and there was nothing else for kids, like when I was 17, I said, let me start it up to let other kids enjoy something I loved. I'm 51 now. I've been involved since I was 17. So that's 34 years. 34 years. With the Warhawks, is the name Warhawks, roughly 5 years. With the association, 8 to 9 years. But this is my 3rd stint of running the league. So I've run pretty much all aspects of setting up the league, setting up schedules with the Lac St. Louis, getting players all registered in the system, setting up the teams. I guess anything else that's totally involved.
You come in, charge it, you got the ball, and he's not going to run now.
Oh, when I was young, I played 11, 12, 13 Little League here. I played for the Knights. Back then we had a 4-team house league. It ranged from 9 to 12 years old, and sometimes we let 13-year-olds play just because it was a 4-team league. So we had the Marina, Moose, Legion, Knights. I finished playing at 13. Then after that, I was just playing at the graveyard with my buddies up until whatever age. Then I was 17 years old. I had my little brother coming along, so I'm like, I'll start the league up. So I had helped back then Davey Daibo from the Youth Center. He gave me a hand with like scheduling and all that. went out, got sponsors. I think we had an 8-team league at the time. It was first year back. I don't remember how many years we lasted, but once I left, again, that ended up folding. I think the youth center ran it for a couple of years, and then it died out after that.
My interest in baseball goes way back. We talked about my nephew Mark, and when he was playing at the time, there were 3 or 4 teams in the league. They were sponsored by the social clubs. And next thing I know, Luan, come give us a hand. Could you stay on the bench, watch the kids? All right, let's do that. I have to say, you talk about the love of the sport and watching kids develop. That's my biggest thing, is to watch. That's why I've stayed in baseball as long as I have. I was on the board for many years with Terry Stacy when we belonged to a Little League baseball group. And we had a blast. We had t-ball, lots of t-ball, and then we'd have one team in each of the divisions, and then we had a junior team that was made up of guys. And I talked to Brandon Bordeaux the other day, and when he goes, I can't believe we played on a team. It was like a 5-year, 6-year age group difference on the junior team, and we won everything. Colt 45s, I got to give a shout out to them. That was one of my favorite teams, good group of guys, and some of those guys are coaching.
When my son was 6 years old, I wanted to get him started in baseball, as my other kids have played. We didn't have baseball here, and I just didn't feel like signing him up in Chattagee or anything like that, so I said, well, let's try to start the league up here again. I believe it was just a 3-team house league. Myself, Jesse, we coached a team. I think Martin Jacobs coached a team. Geez, I'm not even sure who coached the 3rd team. It's so long ago now. I think we did like 3 years of house league. So I said, well, now, because we started at a certain age, we're progressing up the ladder. I said, we're gonna have different levels. I didn't want to have kids 4 years difference in age playing with each other. It's a little dangerous. So I checked into Baseball Quebec, and they had the current league we're in now set up. So we said, all right, we're gonna join in. And the previous year before joining in, our house league team was named the Warhawks. Jesse Lahash was the coach. So Jesse Lahash actually came up with the name Warhawks. That was our team name. And then when I started the league, I told him, I said, I'm going to call the association that. He was fine with that.
How did I come up with that? Jesse Lahash, been helping coach baseball since the program started back up 9-10 years ago. I think I was just searching the internet one day and I seen the name Warhawks. So I'm like, hey, that'd be a cool name for the baseball team. So then I ended up looking around, finding a logo. This is not the original logo. I don't know if Terry has the shirt for the original logo, but mine obviously don't fit no more. So,
so then I just found the logo, the hawk we use online. It was supposed to be for the Blackhawks. I believe it was an Ojibwe artist drew it for them, but they turned it down. So I kind of borrowed it, and that's how we got the name Warhawks with the logo, and then we have now, and that's when we started.
I love it. It's the biggest growing sport in town, I think, right now. Between all the other lacrosse, baseball, soccer, hockey, I think it's one of the bigger growing sports. A little more affordable too.
Because I've been involved in baseball so long, I go back to actually the mixed softball league, the original mixed softball league. I was on the board for that. We used to do a lot of maintenance and upkeep of the hospital ball field, which was our sole one at the time. What happened is, as the softball league got bigger, the men's league was still going. Then the baseball teams, we were having a hard time getting teams to practice in time. Next thing you know, Maddie's Park comes along. And as it grew, again, Maddie's Park fits a need for certain teams because of dimensions, field of play, and the whole thing. And what happened is, again, it wasn't enough. We had been pushing as baseball, the baseball board, for a new field that was regular dimensions, because our junior team played there. But when our junior kids were putting the ball out at the park all the time, consistently, it wasn't big enough.
And I kept hounding them, we need a field, we need a field. Eventually the ball got rolling. And then Mackenzie found out about the Blue Jays grant. So she made an application, and we were selected.
I was so excited. I went to the opening ceremony and I was like, oh my God, it was like the best thing that could happen. When we get lights, I'll even be happier. I'm always plugging for lights and always asking, because I think one of the things is baseball helps everybody. The mixed softball league has been amazing the last years with all the improvements at the hospital fields taken care of. Having the new field just gives us an opportunity to have the U18 here, have the U15s here, the girls U15. That's 3 teams. Next year, maybe even talking junior, who knows, but the potential is there.
Last year was a little bit of a mess. I mean, we weren't sure if we were having a season. Then we found out we're starting like in July. We didn't know how many players we'd have. We did a late registration. We lost like probably half our registration of regular baseball players. And then we gained probably another 20 lacrosse players. For this year, we gained back a lot of ball players, and we kept the lacrosse players we had, and we gained some more lacrosse players. So our overall registration was pretty good this year. We went up to 12 teams. So that's probably the biggest we've ever been. Well, we'd love to keep developing and getting stronger and stronger. Right now, we post a lot of B teams, not too many A. It'd be great at one point where we can post A divisions without being like forced to, where we're actually competitive enough to really hold our own. But it's hard. We're one little community. We're facing other towns that have like 3-4 communities all grouped together to make one association. So they're getting a giant pool where we have basically who signs up, you're on the team.
I was very excited that we have 4 girls teams. I also know that there's a lot of girls who are playing softball, so maybe that might be some transition from them from softball to baseball. So that could be a very strong possibility. I'm very excited for the U9 players who next year will get to move up and see some good stuff. And I will be excited when T-ball comes back.
I think we're going to keep the level of interest, if not even grow next year. I think the girls division, we started off this year with 4 teams. I think we're going to grow in that aspect. Now there's a girls league where they're only playing girls teams. I mean, it's all under the same umbrella. They're Warhawks. They're just in a girls league. So I think we're going to grow in numbers next year.
On deck today, we have a look at regionals, preview of the upcoming baseball regionals. 3 teams from Kahnawake getting underway this week.
Pitch, man. Wipe that smile off your face, though.
You can, it's permanent.
Why do you coach?
To win. Develop the players into a winning team, man. If anybody's coaching not to win, they're lying, and that's my opinion anyway. My name's Ronnie Stacy. I've been coaching baseball in Kahnawake for over 20 years. You're coaching
take a player from skills that they wouldn't have, teach them the skills that they need to turn into a winning team and to develop a team that's going to come. It's a challenge. It's fun.
A good percentage of children are on phones or on tablets or on Xboxes, PlayStations, you know. Sportings, they're all out here. They're outside playing. They're having fun. They're not on their phones. The physical activity, the camaraderie, everything about it is awesome. For everybody who doesn't know, my name is John Mayo, the Bantam coach of the U15 team. I've been coaching for about 7 years now for Kahnawake. I have 4 children, 3 of which all play baseball for Warhawks too. Well, I love baseball. My wife loves baseball. I actually started off coaching my youngest son in 2015 or 16 playing the mosquito level. And the first year we made it to semifinals with him. And then the year after that, still mosquito level, we ended up winning the championship.
Back when I had Little League, I don't know what year it was, but I was young myself, maybe 8 or 9, when I first started the sport and fell in love with it. Helped keep me out of trouble, and I love the sport since then. You're around a certain group of kids that want to stay active, want to stay fit. They want to, go hang out at the quarry and do all that other stuff. Keeps you out of trouble. So you always want to practice. You always want to make yourself better. So you're staying out of trouble. You're doing something positive. So I love coaching. I got forced into it one year with hockey, and I fell in love with coaching. Watching a team start to finish and develop through, see all your work follow through, it pays off in the end, and seeing the kids happy, it's a plus.
I was supposed to be coaching my youngest son. He was supposed to be on this team, and he got called to Chateauguay to try out for Pee Wee A. And I had already committed to coaching this team. There was no way I was just gonna walk away from them, and seeing how far they'd already come, and I wanted to see how far they would go. I have fun with them. Coaching in Chateauguay is a whole different ballpark than coaching players from town. The mentality, for me, I just find it's different here. The kids here are very competitive. They like to be in control. Team practices, you see how competitive they are against each other. But in the game, it all comes together, and now instead of competing against each other, they're competing against the other team, and it showed at the end of the year, big time.
The U13 Bees finished their campaign with 10 wins, 4th place overall in the league standings. I don't know if anyone in their wildest dreams would have thought this would have led to a 6-0 demolition of their opponent in the Lac St. Louis Regionals, where they outscored their 6 opponents by a combined 32 runs. That's over 5 runs a game, folks. And it started off very, very well. They scored the first 9 runs against the Chateauguay Red Sox. They won that one 14-7.
On the ground to second. Cage McCumber gets him out. They throw to first. Got him! Double play! Smoked into deep center. Center fielder goes back. It's going to go over his head. 1 run is in. Center fielder retrieves it now. 1 run scores. A 2nd run scores. Gabriel being waved around. Russell Dahaway Gabriel has hit an inside the park home run.
Back around! All right.
In there for strike 3, and that is the ball game. And the Warhawks get to 1-0 in the regionals.
The second game, they were on the road. They were considered the road team for the game against St. Lazare Gray, who, by the way, is a powerhouse, 13-2 in their division. They scored 5 runs in the first and never trail in the game, winning 13-11.
And McCumber sends this one into left field. That's heading to the warning track. McCumber on his horse. He's on his way to second. Gage McCumber rounding second, heading for third. And they're going to send him home. The throw to the shortstop. It's bobbled. And now the throw home. He scores!
The real interesting game came later on against the Chateauguay Red Sox Blue. So the two teams go in, and the game's tied 1-1 after the first inning, and then the starting pitcher for the Red Sox Blue strikes out 7 straight Warhawks. But the last 2 batters which he faced, Jackson Norton, Lily Barnes, take him 8 pitches each So he has to throw 16 pitches to get these two players. And now he's at 54 pitches for the game. So anything over 55 pitches, that pitcher cannot pitch. And he comes out. And then the Warhawks end the game on a 6-0 run. Win the game 8-7. And that brought us to the game against Mercier the following day. Now Mercier was 16-1 coming into this game. 16-1! And the Rays actually maxed out in the first. It was 5-4 heading into the top of the second when Rustin Delaware Gabriel became like a YouTube sensation, hitting a home run over the 260 sign in center field at the Hospital Ball Field.
And that's smoked! Is that gonna get out of here? It's gone! Home run, Rustin Delaware Gabriel! The ball has left the yard, and the Warhawks have put up a 5 spot on the top of the second. His 5th home run of the playoffs, and the Warhawks have a 9-5 lead at the end of an inning and a half.
And the Warhawks did not look back after that. They won 14-7. Then they win 13-2 against St. Lazare Red in the semifinals.
And the Kahnawake Warhawks have clinched a berth in the gold medal game.
They started off the season like 500 halfway through. We're gonna make the playoffs and see how we do, but I don't know, something, maybe Ronnie, all the practices has been pushing. They turned it around and they almost ran the table right through the end. Maybe one loss through the last half of the season. And then when they hit the playoffs, they were untouchable.
I just love sports. For me, a very long time ago, I learned when I was working in the addictions field about the one missing thing that a lot of young people have is good life skills. And when you look at sports, sports gives you life skills. Yeah, I like to win, don't get me wrong. But the point of it is when children belong in sports, they make that commitment to be on time, to be at practice, to work, to develop, how to be a team player, those are things you don't learn in school. Those are things, so for me, I was like, wow, if we can invest in young people, now's the time, and we're preventing so many other things of addictions and different kinds of things.
It's important to maintain a healthy lifestyle and to keep active. Get them off their screens, and just practice some skills. Maybe some of them never tried baseball before, and some of them, it's their first year, so they're really learning the basics,
Helps them to learn teamwork, helps them to learn stability, discipline. Helps them in a lot of ways with team sports.
I enjoy when somebody hits the ball for the first time, the glow in their face, they make that catch and there's the shock and awe, and they look at their mother in the stand right away and they hear you start cheering or Ragini cheering.
Anytime a kid hits the ball after they've been struggling, or if they catch a ball after they've been struggling, the smile that's on their face, that's always our favorite moments.
The joy that they get out of it is so fulfilling and fun to see that I just can't wait till the next time. And that's what keeps me coming back too. Not only for her, but for all my girls. All my girls, at some point this year, they've all had a struggle and overcame it.
When my kids got into sports, whatever they got into, I got into. They got into hockey first. Then they got into baseball and soccer as well. So I always helped out. I started because there wasn't many people helping out. I've always had a passion for these games that I've been coaching. I've always enjoyed them myself, so I said, why not share my experience with them? To me, it's no burden whatsoever. That's the reason why I got into coaching, was because I said, if I'm gonna be there, well, let me get involved.
I was going to be here anyways for practice each time, so then I thought, well, might as well help out. And I knew I have a little bit of history coaching. I used to coach girls lacrosse, so I was like, well, I don't really know much about baseball besides watching my son play and watching him play last year. But they needed the help because there was 2 girls teams this year.
Baseball was never my choice. Baseball ended up being her choice. But I support her decisions, and I know the game not great. I know basic rules of baseball, and I've learned basic skills I played before when I was small. So committing time there's no sacrifice for me. It's something I'm willing to do and I want to do and I enjoy doing.
So Ganya Daguerre and I are both Mohawk speakers. Half of our girls are from Guninuha. I taught some of them last year in my class, so we speak to our girls in Mohawk, so we figured, well, let's speak to the rest of them in Mohawk too, you know?
We work pretty well together when it comes to communicating with them, and it seems like they do respond well. They do. It seems like they pay more attention. If you speak to them in Kahnawake, they catch on quick.
Not every single word, but pretty much the majority of what we say is in Kahnawake. And what's great about that is when we're at a game and we're speaking to our team or we're telling them plays or we're telling them different things, it's all in the language and the other team has no idea what we're saying. Our cheers are in Kahnawake, so our girls are like being louder and louder in Kahnawake, and you see it really intimidates the other team. So they really love it and they really love our cheer.
Did you all learn a lot this year from your coaches?
Yeah! A lot. Maybe a little too much. Yeah.
I think what was exciting about watching those little kids was watching them hit the ball off the machine, watching them make plays from second base to first base, watching the improvement from the tryout to the end of the season. It's amazing. It's amazing knowing that next year we're going to have some very good baseball players, some very, very good ones with some good development.
Watching our bantam and midget teams get moved because we had a strong regular season, they got moved up to A. We struggled in A, but we played a half a season each, both teams. They ended up losing the bantams every game by a lot. The midgets won one game and they lost all the others by a lot. The league watched them play. They noticed that we weren't the A caliber, so for the regionals, they put us back to B.
It was a little disappointing at first getting moved up to A because we were doing so good in B. But as it got on, I realized, you know what, let's use this to our advantage. If we're not going to win any games, we'll use it as practice.
What they didn't realize they did is they helped our teams improve because by playing A, we faced nothing but the top pitching, top defense.
For our regionals, it wasn't that nerve-wracking. The kids played amazing. Every team that we played against played hard. They were all great. A couple of the officials were a little rough. You know, they were really pinching us against our pitching, and some bad calls were made with the regional umps. But other than that, my kids, man, they played amazing. They played amazing, and I have no regrets.
Looking at U15 action, the defending regular season champions, U15B's 12-2 winners over the Deer Fall Red Sox. Tenth 6, they beat the first place team in the regular season, the St. Laurent Retro Crush. And then a 12-3 win over the DDO Royals.
Don't buy into it, stuff.
So that put them into the quarterfinals where they mercy ruled the St. Laurent Green team 13-3. 7-3 win against the DDO Blue Jays. This team, by the way, is giving up less than 1 run per inning in this tournament, which is just unbelievable. In fact, it's very rarely even heard of. They look like they're focused and ready to go to the gold.
I was watching our Mosquito A team, the only A team we had. They held their own. They were like around 500, their record, I believe, or just a little over 500. That was something I was happy about. I mean, we had an A team and they held their own. They probably could have maybe got a bronze medal or something. We don't know. Like I said, they couldn't make the regionals this year. That was one of my highlights for that because that was a team playing at the higher level.
There's a lot of competitiveness. It's crazy. Like, we are here all to have fun, but you see them, they get like, they want to be competitive, you know, they want to, and it's in the parents too, you know, we're all competitive.
A lot of times, especially with the younger children, I'm listening to parents yell and rant and rave at children, it's this, it's that. I said, this is not Major League Baseball. I started talking to parents about that they're here to develop and learn the sport.
It is hard. I am very competitive. I'm a crazy competitive parent. I will admit it. When he was younger, I was more vocal. He's older now. I have faith that he knows what he's doing when he's on the field. I know that he knows his plays. I know, you know, so it's always trusting that the kids know what they're doing. Sometimes that's the hardest part, is just allowing them to play and do what they want to do or how they're doing it without intervening as a parent on the, you know, on the sidelines. So yeah, a lot of times I just have to breathe and walk away.
I try and stay calm because I know other people can get heated, and it's just something that happens in sports, but especially something that happens in Indigenous sports. And I try to just be there to support what's going on, just showing them that, you know, it's fun first and just try hard.
At a single letter level, you have to control your emotions a little bit more. My priority is to make sure you have fun. If we win, we win. Really, it makes it more enjoyable. But like I said, though, my first priority is make sure they have fun. A lot of times, like I give an example in the past, they've complained about, oh, your practices are boring because you're always doing the same stuff over and over and over again. Down the road, they realize, wow, that repetitive was worth it, you know, because it gets easier and it gets easier and easier. Sometimes it takes time. It takes time just to get to them, keep that confidence up there and keep them happy to enjoy the game.
Just compete. You're sitting 1-2 innings and you're batting once. So when you're up there, just do your best and compete. Don't stand there striking out without swinging that bat. Or my rule is it's a lap after the game. Or the next practice, you're running the field if you strike out without swinging. This is one of my favorite years of coaching at this age level because you don't have to censor yourself when you're talking. You get a lot of kids that are older and they talk just like you would talk on the streets. But the best part is that you don't have to explain or say what you want done more than once. The kids will understand and they listen. You know, you say it once at this age and you get the job done. It's I love this year. All of them developed, they're not the same player when they first started the year. They're a lot better physically for all the running I make them do. But development-wise on the field, a lot of them are doing a lot of stuff that they didn't do in the beginning of the year. So it's what I mean about the benefits of coaching and seeing your work pay off in the kids.
What do you have to say about your coach?
He's all right. He's all right. Sunnyside Dynamo.
U18s. So this team has had a little bit of a roller coaster-ish start to this tournament. They lost via a forfeit against Solange, a game which they were winning, by the way. They were up 7-6 in the bottom of the 5th when a player got thrown out. And so with that, the Warhawks were automatically disqualified and Solange was given a 7-0 win. So here they go. Looked very businesslike in their 15-6 win over St. Lazare. went up against St. Laurent, which was really like an 8 versus 9 elimination game to see who moves on to the quarterfinals. So they went 13-1.
Hit well into steep center. And it's caught in center field by Daibo for out number 2. Off the edge of the bat, right to Jesse Lahash, and that's 2 down. Hit well. Caught! What a grab!
And they move on to the quarterfinals against the Lachine A's. And after 1 inning, the Warhawks are shut out. The A's have a 5-0 lead, and it was time for the Warhawks to dig deep. And that pitching staff held the A's to 1 run in the last 5 innings of play. Warhawks 9-6 winners. To move on to the semifinals, topping the DDO Royals 15-3.
When I played my whole minor league career, nobody I know of or remember made it this far. And it's a great feeling to have this specific group come this far too, because I know they do have a shot to finish this.
Welcome to Parc Bédard in St. Lazare. This is the gold medal game of the 2021 Lac St. Louis Regionals, the U13 B Division. The off-island champion Kahnawake Warhawks, the road team taking on the West Island Yankees, who are the on-island champions. Gabriel hits this one off the edge of the bat. That's going to drop into the outfield. Norton's going to score, and the Warhawks have opened the scoring. It's 1-0 Kahnawake. Hit well into deep left. That falls in front of Brascoop. He will hold it off, though, and the Yankees have tied the game at 1. Off the edge of the bat, it lands in front of the pitcher. They throw to first in time. They throw home. And he scores, and the Yankees take a lead on a sack. It's 2-1. Hit well into right center. That's going to drop, and that's going to get by the center fielder. 1 run scores. Jordan Norton coming home. He scores. They're going to send the 3rd runner home. The throw. Scores! Bases clearing triple. 5-2 Warhawks. Gabriel hits his one through the outfield, and the Warhawks have maxed out in the top of the 3rd. 6-2 Kahnawake. Brascoop makes contact into the outfield. Cage will come rounding 3rd. He scores. Norton hits this one off the edge of the bat. It gets through to the outfield. Ethan Brascoop coming down. Ethan Brascoop scores. That's hit well into deep center. Lahash makes the catch. Hit well into shallow center. That's going to drop. Lahash bobbles it, and the Yankees have scored 2 runs. On the ground, off of Jada's leg. The throw to first. Safe. They throw it back to 3rd, and it gets by. And the Yankees have scored again. It's 13-8. Hit well to short. That's going to find a hole into center field. And the Yankees are now within 4. It's 13-9. Mayo hits this one. It gets through to the outfield. Nastin Mayo with an RBI. Swung on and missed, and that's 1 down. On the ground. Kane Stacy can't get it. And now the runner's going to 3rd. Oh! He's out at 3rd base and a 2nd out. The 3-2 pitch. And the word's not heard since 2014 has happened. The Kahnawake Warhawks are regional champions. The Warhawks are regional champions. 15-9 over the Pierrefonds Yankees.
I have to say, it felt amazing watching all these kids learn their positions, gain confidence in the game. Every one of these players were able to find their strengths, stand out.
Come on, you want a regional championship here.
The first game happened, no rain. They got through everything perfect. We started the 2nd game, and it started raining right away.
When we looked at Parc Bédard Field yesterday, when we left, it almost resembled like a bit of a swimming pool on the infield.
Our game got canceled yesterday due to rain. So tonight our game will be held at Brook in Pierrefonds. We're going for gold. We continue with the same game as yesterday, 1 man on base, 1 man up.
The U15s are the home team taking on Solange in the championship. The Warhawks are going to be playing at the beginning of the bottom of the first. They have a runner on first base via a walk. There will be an 0-1 count on Rohahio Stacy because that's when the umpires just said this is unplayable.
I'm over happy with their performance. They gave 110% the whole year. They didn't quit. There's some kids that were very nervous coming on the field, not gonna mention any names, shaking up at the plate, but they stuck with it. It was amazing to see their heart and their dedication to the team. I don't really mind winning a medal or not, it doesn't bother me. But to see the kids win and see what they went through all year and then to come out gold at the end of it, man, that makes me happy.
Just their last few games in the playoffs were crazy. Like just watching all the parents standing up and having to walk around and we can't breathe and everyone's screaming because they were down or they were up and trying to hold it, and it was it was pretty exciting for their playoffs.
Kids worked hard. They worked hard all season long, man. They deserve every minute of this. Nice. This is what this was about? Right on the ball. Who is this?
Today's matchup is the championship game of the Lac St. Louis U18B division. Kahnawake Warhawks, Soulange Cougars, a game that was supposed to happen yesterday, happening today. And Snow hits this one deep into center. That's going to get to the wall. Cole Snow has an RBI double, and the Warhawks have struck first here in the championship game. Delabous cranks this one. 1 run scores. A second run is in. Since an RBI double, a 2-run double. Hit. Caught. 2 outs. The throw back to first. Not in time, but a double play. And Dibo sends a shot into deep center. Good! A home run! Lucas Dibo!
That was great to see. A lot of kids were talking about it all season. Different parks, like, this one's hittable, this one's hittable. Nobody's come close, but Lucas, he ended up pulling it off. I would call him on the bench there is Lucky Lucas. He always finds a way.
And he swings through strike one to throw down to third. And he beats it out. And he's gonna take off! Scores! 5-0 Warhawks here in the top of the third. Goodleaf smokes this one down the right field line and fair. And he's being waved home. The throw home. He scores! Throw to second. Not in time. It's an RBI double for Max Goodleaf. Here's a shot to the left. Max Goodleaf being waved home. And Max Goodleaf scores. Runner's going. And that knocks the glove off one of the Warhawks. And the Cougars are on the board at 7-1. And Lahash hits a high bouncer. Knocked down. The throw to first base. Beats it out. And the Warhawks get a run. Olivia Rice comes across the bag. Reed hits this one to first. Knocked down. They'll get the sure out at first. The throw home. And they score. Runners going. Strike one. The throw cut off. And they got a runner and a run down. Got him! Cross hits a pop-up on the infield. Caught. Hit on the infield. And it's caught. Well, one. Runner's going to third. Oh, and the ball gets away. Throw to second. Ball gets away. And the Cougars score. And it's 8-3. Runner's going. Strike one. Oh, they got him in a run down again. Tag him out! Skied into shallow center. That's out number one. And that's hit well into left. That's caught. Got him swinging, one down. Got him hooking. Strike three. Here's a 2-1 pitch. On the ground. To second, then flip to first. And the Kahnawake Warhawks have triple slammed!
Well, we were going in with confidence. We knew that we could take competition and give it back, especially contending in A constantly. There was always close games, whether it was a win or a loss. So we knew that moving back down a level, we could go far in playoffs, and we were able to go all the way. So
I didn't like the way the game was headed, and then the kids just turned it around, and they do what they do. They had fun on the field, and they pulled it off.
Felt great, especially after a long time coming. We had chances in the past and weren't able to capitalize, but this year was just a different story. We all clicked and everything worked together perfectly.
I was overwhelmed with like emotion. I almost want to cry sometimes because like you train these kids for all these years. You watch them develop. I mean, and we struggled every year, like in playoffs and that. We've never even medaled in regionals. And then all of a sudden, this year, everything came together. We had 3 teams all winning gold. We had our Mosquito A team and our Mosquito B team were very strong. I figured, well, other kids are seeing this. Maybe we're gonna get new kids joining, saying, well, we have a good program. And that, as a parent, I'm thrilled. I mean, my son is playing probably the best ball of his life. And to be his coach out there, it's hard to explain. It's a great feeling. I'm so proud of those teams. I mean, we've never even had a team medal in regionals, yet alone make it to provincials. This is a first for us, so I didn't even think this would happen, really, to tell you the truth. So I'm proud as hell of those guys and girls.
I'm excited. I'm hoping more kids will play and join. I really would like to see the T-ball. I have a 3-year-old nephew who insists he's playing next year. The older kids that are playing, working towards the Indigenous Games, that was the first thing. Terry laughs at me because I'm always thinking, I said, Terry, anybody going to the Indigenous Games? Yes, Luann, you know, it's like, but I can't help it because I know we have some amazing baseball players.
I hope a lot more kids will come out and try the sport. I see kids actually going for scholarships now through the sport. Would be nice.
She loves it, right?
Yeah.
So she really loves the game now, and if that's what she wants, that's what we're gonna do for her, and we wanna make sure that we have players that can play with her.
So our girls are definitely invested in the baseball. I really think they really love baseball.
I really like when I got my first home run and everybody was there and it just made me so happy.
Awesome.
I see from how they treat you as respect as a coach, not just on the field or where the sporting event you're coaching, but off the field as well, away from these sporting events. The respect that they have for you, and they show that for years and years and years. Like I said, it's no burden at all on me about putting time in.
We lost in the provincials. It was a game that we shouldn't have lost. How disappointed the kids were at the end, letting them know how proud all the parents were and coaches were of them. On Monday, I got a message from 3 of the kids. Can we practice today? The season's over. The season's over and they still want to come out and practice. And on Monday, they showed up to practice after the season.
Nyawa poa, tini zawaju kaya dosaro anagi ga habego seriwa seroni neganto ganaharague aidoa tonoge tano tini zawaju zabwenyu zakwisru tano ungwahone hazadadi tini zabwenyu.
I'd like to thank all parents, all helpers, and all the children for showing up, having dedication, and just giving it their all.
They're trying to find people to they're trying to find people to organize like different games and be at their own kids' stuff, so yeah, their dedication has been definitely a big help to the rise of the interest within the our community.
Thank you for starting something that really is benefiting the kids. I mean, we're a small community, so we only have a small pool of kids to pick from, and they're winning gold medals.
Team, give a round of applause for your parents. Yes! Let's go for the parents.
I'd like to thank all the volunteers, coaches, assistant coaches. Without you guys, none of this happens. I mean, I can help set up the league and that, but once it's set up, if there's nobody to run the teams, we don't have a league. So they're a big part of this also. Before, we would see our ball fields all empty. Now you can pass by any day and you're going to see a kid out with his parents throwing the ball around, hitting the ball. I mean, we have kids out there by themselves just playing. For me, I love that. We didn't have that for so long.